Do you think Ramana Maharshi had the perfect personality? Okay, so before we start talking about this, I'm just going to go into speaking about non-duality. And then we'll head into that question. I kind of sew it all together. Because talking about his personality is more on the human level and it's not on the absolute level. So first of all, I'm just going to do some pointing. So what is non-duality? Like, non-duality to me is absolute freedom. It's freedom from the body, it's freedom from the personality, it's freedom from your life. And it's freedom from this contraction, this belief of you being someone. So most people on this planet believe that they are someone, which is such a bizarre idea, but seems like a reality, is a very strong reality for most people. So what happens is that you get born into this world and then you keep being told, it's like an indoctrination, that who you are is this body. So you are this body. So your parents will start off by giving you a name. I have a name. My name is Lisa. Lisa. And then you're told an age, and you're told that you are the body, and you're told you are behaviors that are happening. And this gets repeated to you throughout your whole entire life. And so obviously this becomes real. And because it isn't real, it creates a sense of distortion and discomfort, and it can encourage neurotic thinking, like so excessive neurotic thinking. Because it's like being gaslit, like you're being talked into something which isn't true. And if you've been gaslit, often it makes your mind quite neurotic about things. If you've ever experienced that on a day-to-day basis, it kind of makes you feel a bit crazy. And then also the mind gets into the habit of trying to repeat the story of itself. So trying to hold up this illusion. It buys into it and believes it. And I suppose it's like an evolutionary process that happens where there is a belief that that is you. And so it keeps trying to hold that up like a placard, like this is me, this is me, this is me. And this me competes to be better than other me's because it fears not being good enough. And it competes to have as much safety as it can, as much money as it can, as much love as it can. It competes for all different types of things, as much enlightenment it can, because this is seen as growing its sense of survival. And everything can become exaggerated in terms of the problems of you, because there is a belief in you and a belief in your problems. So a belief that you need to become something in order to be free. That you need to do something in order to be free. That you need to behave a certain way in order to be free. So there's all these prerequisites of what you need to be in order to be free. So there might be all types of ideas of what you should be, and none of them has truth in them. Some of them can be helpful for your survival and can help moving the body forward and help organizing life and having a better life. But predominantly a lot of thoughts and a lot of narrative is useless. And what happens in other spiritualities is it's often talked about a lot about calming the mind or settling the mind. And I'm not against that. I think that that can often be a prerequisite. A lot of people that are into this subject have not normally done many years of therapy, body work, meditation, reflection, yoga, all types of esoteric practices. And then they finally get to non-duality. So I'm really not against settling down the mind and settling down what you believe and what you think to be true. But the freedom that's pointed to here isn't in that world. So it isn't actually about you achieving something or you getting to something or you becoming something. It's actually deeper than that. It's talking about what the you is appearing in now. So it's talking about the non-duality that's here right now in this. It's so difficult for the mind to hear though, because the mind always is in past and future. Me is always in time. If you spell time in English, you'll see that it's actually written in the word. T-I-M-E. Me. Me is always in time. So what else is happening beyond time? What is happening beyond time? So there is this full stop that's happening. There's nothing that's happening. That's not going into time. And is always here no matter what. And this isn't a mental understanding. Understanding is something that appears in time, so it's something that's known. It's something that is in movement, that comes and goes. Because understanding can change, knowledge can change, and also there can be a forgetting of knowledge. So it's really not an understanding, even though it sounds like I'm verbally communicating that to you. So what is happening now that's not an understanding? It's not a movement in time. That's only right here. It's just shouting, here, 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 here. This part of you does not suffer. This part of you has no rejection to what's happening. It's not against anything. It's not for anything. It's just here experiencing itself. And this no thing or everything, whatever we want to call it, the big consciousness or the big self, animates the body. But it doesn't animate the body consciously, as if it's self-aware. It's spontaneously animating the body, even though the body kind of happens in cause and effect, so it doesn't seem like it's spontaneously. So it's spontaneously speaking these words, spontaneously hearing these words, spontaneously creating this room, instantaneously, never being created before or will be created again. It's just here. And in that spontaneity, it creates the appearance of free will. So it creates the ability that you can seemingly put your attention in this moment, or put your attention in the I am, or investigate your psychology. And so Ramana Maharshi, myself, everybody is being animated by that one energy. And there's particular patterns that we follow, the body follows. Just like the room has a pattern, and the tree has a pattern, and the table has a pattern, and the sky has a pattern, the human has a pattern. And when awakening happens, there can be a change in that person, but the change is more that the pattern becomes less intense. So you still have a ghost of the pattern, but it becomes less intense because there's not a belief that it's you. And so therefore some issues might not arise anymore because there is less intensity and less energy going there. But it doesn't mean that the person automatically becomes a really good person or a really well-behaved person, or always knowing how to deal with people or knowing the right things to do. On that level, it can make mistakes. On a deeper level, there can be a great sense of knowing what's correct, like what is the correct move for this body. There is this feeling like it comes straight out of creation and it feels really right. But it doesn't mean that that is good. It doesn't mean that that's perfect and that you're necessarily treating the other person in the correct way, and that you are the good one, or you are the enlightened one. It's more that when you really become the pattern of you, it's that you really become yourself, and then you're being very authentic, but that's not perfect. And this is a big mistake in non-duality. I find that a lot of people are looking for perfection and then seek for perfection on the human level. And this is to do with psychology. This is to do with not feeling good enough on the psychological level, so therefore trying to complete it in a new thing. The same as if you were trying to get money. And then also there can be the projection outside that the other people are going to be perfect to you. So I'm going to find the perfect mother or father, or the perfect partner that's going to act perfectly and right and correct the whole time. And again, it's seeking that comes from childhood wounds. And that's really not what this is about. It's like, on the human level, it's becoming authentically yourself. And on the absolute, it's becoming authentically yourself. And you kind of become authentically yourself on the human level when you begin to reconnect with who you are on the absolute level. But it's a process. Like, I'm still becoming more authentically Lisa, and that's maybe a process that never ends. There's times when I go into, automatic mode, not being authentically her. So you're welcome to ask questions through